What's going on, guys? It's your boy Shady Mike Gaming, and welcome to what you can call my review of college football 25. The point of this video really is to help inform you before you buy college football 25. I don't want to sway anyone one way or the other. I want to give my honest thoughts and opinions over my first few days of playing the game. I've put a ton of time into the game, tested as much as I could to, try to help my community make an informed decision on this game. The structure of the video will be me talking about some things that I like and then some things that I don't like. I'll make sure there are timestamps as well. If you're looking forward to college football 25, comment down below what you're looking forward to. If you've played it already, tell me what you like, what you dislike. Guys, make sure you like the video and subscribe for more. Other than that, guys, let's go ahead and get right into our review of college football 25. So the first thing on my list I want to talk about is genre-defining presentation and pageantry. The developers spoke about how much effort they put into researching each school and all of their different intros and mascots and things of that nature, and it really shows throughout this game. It's actually pretty incredible. Now, I'm a Florida State fan, and they go through their entire routine where the Chief gets on the horse and he throws the spear at center field. It's really cool to see, that in that presentation.
Well, get used to the sound you're hearing. The Seminole War
I skipped it, bro.
This
My bad.
Today, part of the lifeblood of the sport. A rivalry game.
Yo, this is so cool, man.
Remember for a lifetime. As we'll see,
This looks incredible. But one thing I wanted to point out was it's not just like a 2-minute or 30-second segment at the beginning of each game. You've got fans with multiple cutscenes doing the tomahawk chop throughout the game and the fight song playing in key moments after a turnover or a turnover on downs. It's really ingrained well throughout the game, and I think they did a fantastic job of that. The second part of that, though, it's genre-defining presentation as well. I want to talk a little bit about the cinematic camera angles and replays.
They keep attacking through the air.
Oh, look! Oh, yeah! The whole entire defensive line got through. That's Florida State football right there, man. That's Florida State football right there. Look at this. Oh, look at the camera angle. Oh, I like that camera angle, guys. I think this is going a little bit under the radar because some of the camera angles on replays and big plays are incredible, especially at halftime. Now, I know this is just more personal preference, and it might even be a hot take. For years, people have been asking for like an NFL style halftime show. I personally don't like things like that because that's something that I'm going to skip, and I'm going to skip every time. But what we do have here is like these really nice camera angle replays of some of the key plays that happen in that half, and I really like them. They look fantastic in motion, and they do so much for immersion in terms of the presentation of the game. Oh man, this is great camera work. This is great camera work. Great. Not good. This is great camera work. Are y'all seeing this right now? The second thing on my list that I wanted to talk about were simply new running animations. Players look incredible when they run the ball. Now, I did first notice these animations in the Madden 25 beta, so obviously you can see there's a little bit of sharing there, but it's American football, so why not? The new running animations look great. They're fluid. Guys are waving the ball as they run. There's different run styles, it seems, so they did a really good job, and that just does so much for the game. And you guys have heard that feedback from me in terms of the running animations, and that's a complaint that a lot of people have had for Madden for a while, but I think they did a really good job to address that this year in both college football and Madden, and you can see it's one of the first things you notice when you pick the game up. What comes with that, which in my personal opinion is not new, but it's something that has been criminally underrated and underrepresented by, in my opinion, the Madden community, is this game has god tier foot planning. It's the best foot planning in sports, and it's been that way starting with Madden 23, and they have every year improved it to be better and better to the point now where we're at with college football 25. The cuts you can make with players, it's just incredible. You feel every step, and I think that's like a next gen like power thing. It really comes through in your gameplay as you're doing jukes and running through the line of scrimmage. Oh, cut it back on him. Oh, that's his ankles. The third thing on my list that I want to spend the most time on right here is tackling at an engine level is completely revamped. Now, I actually noticed this, and I want to be very blunt here. Suction tackles are gone. They're not 90% gone. They're not 50% gone. They're not 99% gone. They are completely gone, as in it is impossible for you to get suction tackled. This is something that I noticed almost immediately. Situations playing Madden where I would have been tackled, that I was able to run past people, run through holes, get around gaps, and with bendy and twitchy players, and it's profound. And when I tweeted about it, I believe this gentleman is from me. I believe he's one of the developers. He tweeted that, yes, this was a focus of the team. And I want to tell you all, this is any allegations of this game being a Madden clone were dead with this point right here. Players can no longer reach out and just kind of bring you into animations. It opens the game up so much, and we will talk about that later. Now we're going to stick on the topic of tackling, because this is something that if you haven't been playing these games for a while, you may not know this, but in past Maddens, EAs, or college footballs, whatever, it was virtually impossible to break a tackle while being tackled, meaning no matter what your ratings are, if you get hit by one player and you break the tackle, but you go to get hit again, that second tackle will be successful regardless. That has changed, and that seemed to be an extremely intentional change. So you have to focus on getting playmakers on the ground, especially in the open field, because the open field is just dangerous. The defenders, your defensive backs, they try and do arm tackles, guys with tremendous speed, and these break tackle abilities can get loose for very big gains. But these are two what we would call legacy issues that seem to be directly targeted and addressed by this development team, and that's extremely exciting for me, because I have to be honest, these were two of my biggest, I don't know if I want to call them issues, but one of the things that kind of take immersion away is when you feel like you should have been able to get through a hole or run around a guy and you get sucked into an animation. I know there's a lot of OGs that'll be very pleased with this change and this change alone. The fourth thing on my list of good is the home field advantage is devastating. I can't hot root. I literally can't hot root any of these guys.
Looking to pass. It's Sanders. Throws to the tight end.
It's not possible. I can't even. I literally can't beat these guys. I knew I would have that. I guess I could have dumped it to the flat, but I didn't think that would give me the first down. And then kind of the contested throw is off target. And I couldn't hot root anybody, so the Penn State home field advantage is just killing everything for me. On my first stream, my subscribers challenged and dared me to play Colorado versus Penn State, or at Penn State rather, and it was one of the craziest experiences that I've had, and I got blown out. It was almost impossible to hot route, so there are just several debuffs that go into play when you're playing in an environment like that. Number one, it takes longer to hot route. Number two, sometimes you just can't hot route a player because they cannot hear you. Sometimes you can only hot route 2 of your 5 potential receivers. Sometimes when you hot route, they will hot route into the wrong route, which is tough because sometimes you can only see 2 or 3 of your 5 routes. Sometimes you can't see the player icons, guys. I think you get the point. It's just insane. And this goes for, obviously it's lesser you know, to the extent when you're not playing one of those top rated teams, but they have kind of like a stadium ranking in terms of the loudest stadiums, and that, you know, this effect is intensified depending on where you play. When you're playing at Penn State, when you're playing Florida State, it can get a little bit crazy. It was causing me to throw a pick when I thought a guy was running a different route. It caused me to get a couple delay of games. It will cause you to get false starts. It's very cool the way that they implemented this. It's not just a gimmick. It's there. It's part of the game. And hey, it's a part of college football too. So they did a great job of implementing that. The fifth thing on my list that's good, and I actually can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm saying it: penalties work. The penalty sliders work.
The offense with a major gamble here, going for it inside the.
Oh my God. Oh, I got him! Oh my God!
Fourth down, they'll try to run for it. They make the tackle there, but a penalty marker. See what that's about.
Hey! I knew that was gonna happen. I wasn't sure, but I thought it might happen.
The guy at the quarterback spot, he can just do that. Pull it down, get positive yards, makes the defense have to account for him.
Looking for the end zone. And it's a touchdown. It is also a play in which there is a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is.
It's pretty incredible, simply put. I used to always complain about, you know, EA football games, and I said, guys, if there's a slider and I put the slider at 100, I should get a penalty on every play, and then let me tune backwards and, you know, get it to a realistic rate. Well, they literally listened, because if you put all the sliders at 100, you get a penalty on every single play. Like, it's actually incredible. I'm extremely excited for what the community is going to do with this, what I'm going to do with it once we get slider sets. It's been a long time coming, and I'm extremely happy to have this part of football, because it's a big part of football, be represented in the game. All right, and for the sixth thing on my list, I have the field goal kicking. It's innovative, right? That's it. Innovative. That's it. You know, it's pretty difficult, but it's innovative. It's different and it's new. I love innovation. I love seeing, you know, developer teams say, hey, how can we just innovate? How can we make this closer to real life? You have to think about your kicks. You have to think about the kicker that you have. You have to think about, is this, you know, when you're recruiting, hey, I might need to get a different kicker in here because he's not making these kicks, or it's hard for me to make these kicks. I really like that. It brings a lot of like thought into the kicking games. Like, hey man, it's 4th down and 3 and we're on the 32 yard line, the 29 yard line. I might just go for it here. You know what I mean? So I love the kicking difficulty, and yeah, you're gonna shank a few. It's gonna be tough, but I love that they just brought more to the game there.
Defense stands tall and makes the stop. They're happy enough to try to
I missed.
take the points as the field goal
Oh
unit.
my God.
Not a
All right, guys, we have to learn the kicking meter. We have to learn it.
that miss.
For this crucial play. So he runs 4th down. Out comes the field goal team.
Oh, I dinged it in.
Nice kick here to polish in wrong situations. You just want to be able to keep the football in front of you. It's okay for that quarterback to hit the running back on that pass. Now you have all those bodies flying.
He missed.
The football and they're able to make a tackle.
No.
Oh,
And guys still down by 4, still needing a touchdown to take the lead.
that's huge. See, the kick meter is tough for everybody. He missed. Oh, yes.
And good.
Oh, that's a kicker's kick, man. All right, y'all, and there are 2 more things on my list I did want to include here, but I thought maybe don't need, like, you know, an entire soliloquy about them. But I really liked the game out of the box on All-American. I was actually shocked by that. Like, I don't usually enjoy Madden on All-Pro. The game is usually, like, in my opinion, like, needs sliders. Oh, I need sliders right away. Now, don't get me wrong, I did make slider tweaks, but I really thought this was one of the better playing EA football games out of the box that we've seen in a long time. So I did think that was worth pointing out. Now, don't get me wrong, I am still going to make sliders and, you know, be on the lookout for those. But, you know, I thought that the game played really well coming out of the box. Another super small change I wanted to just include was quarterback movement behind the line of scrimmage. It's the best right now that it's ever been. especially the CPU. If the CPU's got a mobile quarterback, they're going to run, they're going to navigate, and they're going to make plays with their legs, and sometimes they're just absolutely going to take off, so you do have to be careful with that.
It's harder. Snapping the football, everybody being on time. Man, this crowd really affecting the football game.
That's a 20. He's got space. Really needed a play like that to get.
With that comes an improved speed differential. So that kind of suctiony slowdown that we've been dealing with for the past few years, it's gone now, and I'm really excited about that. All right, guys, so the next topic I want to talk about, it's not something that I could fit into good or bad, but it's kind of in the middle, and it's almost strictly based on personal preference. But I thought it was still, something some of you may want to know. The quarterback passing. So I want to start by saying the quarterback passing. They have this new revamped passing system, right? I want to start by saying this. You can use classic passing, you can use placement, you can use placement accuracy. So this is completely optional. That's why I can't put it in the good or the bad, because it kind of fits into both. They have this new revamped passing system. It's kind of amazing. Like, some of the trajectories of throws, like I want this to be very clear. You can make throws from trajectories and arm angles that have never before been seen in a football video game. That is incredible. That excites me.
You just try to get your hands in the air, get a deflection, make him throw around you. Great job by the defensive end.
Oh, he lost him.
He gets it in. Touchdown, Florida State. That's his third touchdown pass of the day. The defense has no clue how to respond right now.
No, and the defense.
So that was it, right? That's what I was trying to tell you guys. That was the new.
Making the right decisions and just carving this defense.
That was the revamp. That was the revamp right there. He kind of goes here, and what I did was when I threw it, I kind of held left on it. And so instead of him throwing it outside, watch this, he throws it inside. Look at the throw. Like, you guys got to check. I've already thrown the ball. He's running to the sideline, but I'm holding left, and I kind of let him inside. That was kind of crazy. And he just took it from him. That was nice. It's hard to explain, but with the new passing, you can kind of mess around with it. Now, so you're probably like, Shady, so why is this not in the good? Or why could it possibly be in the bad? Guys, if it's me, if it's a skill issue, let me know. But realistically, it just seems like you have less control. I just really couldn't get this system consistently down. There were very simple times where I just want to throw a bullet pass. Like, I want to, it's a button hook or a hitch route, whatever people call it these days. And I just want to drill it in there and just get it to my guy. And there were times where he threw a little bit of a lob, or, this, that, and the other. So it could have been just me not understanding the system well. I've played this game a lot, so I feel like I understand it. But it just was a little bit, it was like for every 9 incredible passes I made, there was one that's like, oh my gosh, if I was on placement, I would have been fine. So when I make sliders and things of that nature, I do think I'm going to use placement on my slider set, but you owe it to yourself to get in here and mess around with this revamped passing, because it's just some of the moments, some of you guys saw it on stream, some of the throws that I made were simply incredible with it. But I just wonder about the overall control of the system. Another reason, and I don't want to call this a con, but it kind of is what it is, right? I know it sucks, but this is a big deal for me. To my understanding, this revamped passing is not in Madden. And so I don't want to be, this is 2 games that I plan on playing. And for me, I just think it'd be a little bit difficult to know and learn both systems. So with it not being in Madden, I get it. They want to keep these 2 different. I respect that 100%. They want to keep, differences between the 2 games. I don't know that I want to learn a new passing system, especially when I primarily play Madden, and I know I'll be going back to Madden. Unless I'm wrong about that, I don't think the revamped passing is in Madden or going to be in Madden. If I'm wrong, let me know, but I didn't see it in the beta, the Madden 25 beta, so I don't think that's a thing. All right, y'all, and let's get to everyone's favorite part of the video. All jokes aside, I know the haters have been salivating for us to get here. It's like, whoa, this guy said way too much good things about an EA football game. But let's get to the things that I did not like about the game. And the first thing that I want to talk about, and I'm going to be honest, these are just things I consider bad, but I'm not even going to lie, some of these don't even bother me. But the first, and I think is probably universal, it's just things that I think you should know. And I put this on my list as the lack of customization may throw some of you off. Now, I've been following the college football news cycle and doing some of the news as well for a while, so none of this is news to me. I fully bought the game knowing these things, but number one, there is no recruiting difficulty. You cannot edit jersey numbers of IRL players, although I've heard that this is coming in a patch. So if that patch drops before this video, I do apologize if that's inaccurate now. But you cannot edit ratings in Dynasty. That is recruited players and IRL players. This is not a big deal to me because I'm assuming this was NIL related. I'm an OG. I come from the OG college football games where you would get it and every player had a random, it was like quarterback 10, you know what I mean? So we spent weeks upon weeks editing all of the real players into the game. So the fact that we don't have to do that anymore makes that change off worth it for me. But everyone doesn't feel that way, and there are some frustrations in the community about the lack of being able to edit. One thing on that note I did want to point out was with the recruiting difficulty with Florida State, I did nail the number two prospect in the country. I did not get the number one prospect in the country. I never felt like it was over or underpowered. I was able to get marquee talent from Florida, from South Carolina, from Georgia. I was going head to head. I lost some guys to South Carolina. I lost some guys to Alabama. I lost some guys to Miami, right? I remember one off the top of my head. I was recruiting the top left tackle in the country, and he was from Pennsylvania. He chose, I was in his top 5. I got into the top 3, but ultimately he chose Penn State, which is realistic. There were guys that refused to come out there from the West Coast. They wanted to stay in the West Coast. I lost out to guys in USC, so it's realistic. Now, on the other end, I told you guys I wanted to potentially do some recruiting with Temple, some recruiting with Rutgers, you know, East Coast, Philly, Jersey, stand up, but I just haven't had the time to do that yet. So I can't for certain say that it's a problem. I can say everything has looked fine so far, but I don't know if I'm going to get in there with Temple and, maybe be recruiting too easy. I just don't have the information just yet. But personally, I can say I really enjoyed Dynasty. I really enjoyed the recruiting, setting up your board and targeting these guys, man. It's a movie, and it's so glad. I'm so glad to be back personally. And for my second, well, I'll call it an issue with the game, but this is more an issue, it seems, with the sim engine that is coming to my attention, coming to some of the people in the community's attention. They brought it to me. The sim engine does not seem to be working properly out of the gate. There are an immense amount of upsets that simply should not happen. Somebody that I know in the Madden modding Discord has had Alabama go 0-3 to start. It doesn't seem realistic. Alabama did lose their first game, or maybe it was their second, to a complete nobody in my dynasty as well. But it's not just Alabama. As you all break down the schedule and look through it, it seems there are a bunch of losses going on that probably shouldn't happen, if that makes sense. So there's some of the same stuff is going on with like stats. I saw another bug where it's like a team can't have an odd number of fumbles. Like apparently it just everything doubles, so every team will have 2 or 4 fumbles recovered if you simulate a game. So that's something, the sim engine as a whole needs to be tweaked. I'm confident in that because I do believe that's something that can be patched. I don't believe it's something that's broken forever, but it's impactful enough that I thought it should be mentioned in a video like this, because I would love to get some eyes on it, and I do think it'll impact like your ability to enjoy the game if you're trying to compete and you're trying to compete against a powerhouse in Alabama, but they're 1-4 when they've got maybe like a 90 or so overall team. So do keep that in mind. The final, and what I want to say bad, but issue with the game, ironically ties into one of the goods with the game. So we talked about how they Removed suction tackling. They will not suck you into animation. So the lack of that suction is great, and I love it. However, now that the suction tackles have been eliminated, it's exposed some, I'll call them questionable pursuit angles from CPU controlled defenders. Now, if you ask me, if I have to choose between poor pursuit angles and suction tackling, I'll take the poor pursuit angles every day, but I think that's something that can probably be tweaked or tuned with an update. So I would love to see some improvement there. I mean, dude, you catch this ball right here. How does no one make this tackle? What is one doing? What is one? Oh, one. We gotta, oh, one. Yeah, one. You might have to hit the portal, buddy. Out of the box, the pursuit angles aren't great. Now, I will say this, it's very easily fixed with sliders. You can up the tackle slider so there's less missed tackles in open field, but the biggest thing that I found helped was putting the speed threshold at 76. You still get great separation, and I noticed players take better angles, so that works for me. But I do know there's a large casual fan base that doesn't or won't do these things. There's online guys, right, that can't use sliders in gameplay, so naturally the pursuit angles just need to be better. That's all that is, you know what I mean? Like, that seems like something that can be tuned. So I wanted to include this into this video, so you know, if anyone does see it, if anyone from EA sees it, or anyone that can make an impact sees it, you know, they can make a change. So with all that being said, you may have two more questions left, and the first would be, should you buy the game? And my honest answer to that question is, I don't know. If you have $100 and haven't eaten in 3 days, I probably wouldn't spend 70 of it on a video game. But if you regularly buy video games and you like college football, what else are you going to buy? I don't even understand. Like, no, this is not a game that you're going to regret buying. It's a very good, very polished game. You can tell they spent 3 years on it. It feels really good to play. And people like myself are going to continue supporting it, making sliders for it, and, you know, trying to make the game as good as possible. So I enjoyed it, and, you know, for me, yeah, it's worth the money. And the last group of people I guess I should address is the Madden Clone people, right? Oh, the game is just a Madden clone. Well, it's not. It's actually extremely different from Madden 24. If anything, it's actually closer to Madden 25. And I would go a step further and say, if Madden 25 is a college football 25 clone, we'd be in really good hands. That's how much I'm enjoying this. But bottom line is, y'all, it is an American football game. There's only so much you can change from version to version, but as you all can see, they did a great job tuning this game out of the box, and it's a very enjoyable experience. Like most things in life, if you try to find problems, you will find problems. If you try to find solutions, you will find solutions. But my logic and my honest belief here is, if you truly want to enjoy this football game, you will. If you want to find things that make the game unenjoyable, you will. That's what it comes down to. Other than that, guys, it's your boy Shady Mike. Thanks for rocking with me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm signing out. Peace. Threes.